I grew up here in this system. You know, I grew up on the Chesapeake Bay side of the peninsula. I spent a lot of time in the water over there and a lot of time in the water out here on the seaside on these islands. I was really aware of all the grasses that grew underwater, both on the Chesapeake Bay side and on the seaside. My grandmother grew up in the same area, and she taught me some about fishing and crabbing, and we would wade in the Chesapeake Bay eelgrass beds with dip nets catching crabs when I was a little kid. You know, she told me there's eelgrass here in the bay, but there isn't eelgrass on the seaside. And I was like, yeah, Grandma, I know. I go out there, I never see it. And she goes, but there was eelgrass there when I was a little girl, and it all disappeared. And I think she's who made me aware in the first place of that difference. The eelgrass here on the seaside disappeared when she was a teenager, you know, in 1932 or 33. In the 1920s, there was a wasting disease, and it was particularly tough on the eelgrass that we have right here because our salinity here is really high. There are no rivers dumping any fresh water into this area, and high salinity made it easier for that wasting disease to harm the eelgrass. Over the course of that time, pretty much while the wasting disease was here, folks on the eastern shore were starting to figure out how to harvest bay scallops that depended on that eelgrass for habitat. In 1930, Virginia produced more bay scallops than any other state in the United States. But at the same time, that eelgrass population was declining from the wasting disease and maybe getting beat up a little bit by scallop dredges. After 1930, in 31, there was a big decline in our bay scallop harvest. 1932, an even bigger decline. The reports from scallop fishermen were that it was hard to find any eelgrass at all that year to fish in. The storm of 1933, a big unnamed hurricane, finished the job in taking out all the eelgrass.